let's get into more bad advice. Part 2, because there were just too many stories to fit into one part. Let me expand on the other story I was starting in the first chapter when I was talking about doctors. Some of you might be wondering why I have such a thing about doctors. Most doctors that I've seen in my life have not helped me in any way, shape, or form. You know, what is it? Usually they want to stick you with a cortisone injection, and they want to stick you with this, and then half the time physical therapy is nothing. Biggest example is the one that did permanent damage to me when I was in my early 20s. And when I was getting all that weight gain after working my sales job, of course I was getting plantar fasciitis. My feet were a mess. I go to this doctor. You know, of course, what do doctors say to you when you're in your 20s, no matter how messed up you are? You're too young for that. You're too young for back problems. You're too young for feet problems. You'll be okay. Don't worry about it. Right? What does he prescribe me? Naproxen. You know what that is? That's Aleve. Big ass pills of Aleve. You know, you got to get the inflammation down, right? And physical therapy. What was physical therapy? Go to the back room, sit down. We're going to do the little ultrasound, strap you to the stim pack, and give you the little shocks, and that's it. As far as strengthening it, the only thing he gave me was a little handout pamphlet with a couple of stretches. You know, what am I going to do with this? You know, nobody's showing me how to do this. I'm not going to retain this. I don't know why I'm doing it. Gone. So that's it. I kept going back, kept doing the physical therapy and taking the pills. And then it got to a point where I was wearing a boot and I couldn't even walk and go to work anymore, literally with a big boot on. I'm sure some of you have had that. Months and months down the line, it comes, it goes, but, you know, nothing was fixed, nothing was cured. Advice, keep taking the Naproxen, it'll be all right. I'm taking Aleve every morning before work, sometimes on an empty stomach, like it's candy. I'm taking it every day. Of course, you know what happens? Destroyed my stomach, acid reflux, damage, probably had ulcers that went undiagnosed. To this day, I can't even stomach painkillers like that. I gotta be careful. I gotta take it with a lot of food. I take ibuprofen, I'm done. My stomach is on fire. It did permanent damage to me. And get this, you know how I solved my plantar fasciitis? With a YouTube video, a 5-minute YouTube video that showed me exactly the stretches and why I'm doing it. I started doing those stretches. It was gone in a couple of months. I was good. I've never had it as bad as it did back then, and I always know how to catch it and solve the problem. See that? I took out the time, taught myself, boom, and that was the first thing that got me into health, like seriously, just to know how much information and research is available out there. Let's talk about bad diet advice. Listen, everybody's got diet advice. Everybody's got the thing that's going to solve it. Everybody's got the smoothie diet, the this diet, veganism, whatever, keto, blah, 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 blah. But try this though, at the very least. Take your advice from somebody who actually has results, who's done the journey. Don't take advice from the guy who might actually have good information and mean well, but has never actually done it themselves. With all due respect, I'm not going to take powerlifting advice from my mother. I'm going to want to listen to somebody that's done it before, right? At the very least, get some kind of mentor, somebody who can kind of guide you through it. Or just do the research yourself. Because we all got that one person who's going to tell you, you know, you got to eat small, frequent meals throughout the day. Just eat, you know, you got to keep your metabolism going. Like, no, buddy, telling somebody they can eat small meals and eat all day is an easy way to go over your calories. Everybody's got a different definition of what a small meal is, right? I'm pretty sure that whole bag of walnuts was not a small meal, or that big bag of pistachios you just ate to the face. And even myself, with the things I talk about here, I'm not going to preach about anything or give advice on anything I haven't done myself or done the research on. I'm not here to tell people how to do crazy powerlifting, put on tons of muscle. That's not my forte. I'm all about the weight loss, the maintenance, and the healthy lifestyle. Let's talk about bad advice from psychiatrists and therapists, right? Let me tell you my first experience going to therapy. When I first got my ADHD diagnosis and I decided to get help for it and get some, you know, behavioral therapy techniques or whatever. First person I spoke to was probably new, you know, granted. You know what she said to me? She goes, have you ever just, I don't know, like tried to focus? Bruh, did this licensed professional just tell somebody with ADHD, have you ever just tried to focus? What do you think I'm doing here in the first place? Why do you think I'm here seeking your help? Bruh, I was so turned off of therapy for years. It took me a while before I went back and tried somebody else. Luckily, the next dude I found was a good dude and helped me through it. I'll give you one more. You know, the supplement guy, the guy that always got the latest fat burning pill, the biggest current weight loss trends. It's like the GNC guy, but like the street version, the illegal version. There's always that friend that's like, oh, you gotta try this Super Mega RX burner fat caffeine overdose, Monster Energy taurine. The pounds will just melt off. You remember Oxy Elite Pro? A good friend of mine, a coworker, Al, he told me the story. I went through the exact same thing. Somebody was putting the Oxy Elite Pro on him back in the day when it still had illegal ingredients in it. Like, yeah, the pounds are gonna melt off. This man was up at 3 a.m., not being able to sleep after taking it way earlier in the day. This man had heart palpitations. I felt the exact same thing when I went through it. I was all like hot during the day. I started smelling weird. It was pretty disgusting. And yeah, the heart palpitations were real. Don't put anything into your body that you haven't thoroughly researched yourself. If I recommend a supplement to somebody, I'm going to tell them what it does at least, and that I've tried it myself. Anyway, I'm sure there's probably going to be a part 3. There's so much bad advice in the world. Don't listen to bad advice. Google it. YouTube it. There's a whole world of free information out there. There's literally no reason why anybody should be taking bad advice from anybody. Peace.